Good morning. Praise God if you woke you up this morning. And here we are again, Genius Seminar continued in my why. Now, if you've been keeping up with everything, so far we've completed 3 pieces on camera. In this video, we're going to complete 2 more. So yeah, I'm going to give you guys a little debriefing first. Let you guys kind of relax and see how pretty this is. Actually, I was singing "Glamorous" by Fergie. In this video, it's a little embarrassing, but we're here for me. We're here for the personality. Obviously, I make pretty good work, but I mean, there's no use in me even recording any of this if I'm not gonna show y'all my personality. This is the setup from the last 2 paintings, the Curious Woman and the Dancing Woman. Not in that order, Dancing Before Curiosity. And without further ado, let's get into it. As you guys can see, I'm starting the sketching of, the Tormented Woman, which is fairly simple. It's just her laying in a body of water, and she's crying, and she's almost in the fetal position from pain. She doesn't know what to do, and it's reflective of the beauty and sometimes crying. This is how I took down the display. Something that I always make sure that I mention, I'm a creative writing and studio art double major, and one of the things that I want to do with my degree is I want to work as a curator. And what a curator does, you organize the exhibits in museums or sometimes for different events, but your main function is organizing things. That's everything from the placement of something to the lighting, the color of the wall, sometimes the smell. It just really depends. So, y'all can see me using my projector. That is a picture that I took when I went to the New Orleans Botanical Gardens, which I'll definitely be going back again, and I definitely recommend that you go to. Now, as you can tell from the title of the video, I'm going to be talking about my why, not why college, not why well, scratch that, not why this college, not that kind of stuff, because that's what a lot of people think about when they hear, oh, well, my why. No. Here we're going to get into the nitty gritty because our junior seminar show is right around the corner, and it's about time that I finally make this video in which I talk about what inspired this work and why do I create work to begin with. So, without further ado, I'm going to formally introduce myself. Hi everybody, my name is Talia Rashawn, aka Talia Thomas, aka Talia Rashawn on Instagram and here on YouTube. And as I stated previously, I'm a creative writing and studio art double major. And I love to create art. Not only do I paint, I draw and am working on a graphic novel for my own enjoyment, just really a passion project, as well as I love to write poetry and hope to one day have a book of poems published. I have a poem copyrighted and have a few different poems published in different literary works, which are available on my website to look into. I don't sell the books yet because I'm not to that point right now, and those are special collections of poetry. So if you're interested in learning more about that, you can go to www.wholesomelychristian.com. That's wholesomely without the first E. I'll link it in the description. But yeah, so please forgive me if I start straying away from the conversation. This is really hard to talk about, so I'm gonna just go ahead and give y'all a trigger warning right now. But yeah, we're gonna get into it unfiltered. Um, if you are triggered by talks of child abuse, talks of self harm, talks of depression, talks of anxiety, then I advise you not watch the rest of this video. Maybe put some music in your headphones and just kind of watch this as a little process. But yeah, let's start from the beginning. So, I am 20 years old. I'm a junior in college, and one of the things that I find myself continuously struggling with is my emotions. And, emotions honestly make the world go round and are something that have always been really difficult for me because I never was really allowed to express my emotions as a kid. Um, Unfortunately, I feel like all dark skinned women and men have this story of I was bullied as a child, and because I was bullied as a child, I either decided to be promiscuous because I didn't see my value, or I decided to exclude myself because I didn't see my value. And I did I did the second one. I definitely reserved myself from certain things and just prided myself so much on my education, which I hold very high in my standard of am I worth this, am I worth that? Because whenever I wasn't getting bullied at school, I would go home to a very toxic environment. Um, just a little background about me. My parents got married really young. They were 19 when they got married. At the time, I was 2 years old. My mom had me fresh out of high school. Um, and I just remember growing up, we had lots of great memories, but most of my childhood memories are somewhat of a blur. Like, there's a period in my life that I can't even account for, and I can tell, like, something's missing. But, like, that's really tragic that I don't remember that. But anyway, back to the household stuff. My parents would get into it all the time. My mom would kick my dad at the house. I think my dad might have went to jail. Like, I remember being told something along the lines of that, but like all of my childhood stuff just really kind of mushes together, with the exceptions of very specific phrases, which I'll tell y'all about. So I am the eldest of three kids, and I always found myself being held responsible for things that I don't feel like I should have been. I feel like as a girl, we are definitely treated differently from guys. Like guys just get to talk, oh well, boys will be boys. But if girls do the exact same thing, it's oh well, you shouldn't do this. That's not ladylike. That's not this. That's not that. And like my entire life, I just really struggled a lot with that. Not knowing like, am I doing too much? Am I not doing enough? Um, my mom used to abuse me. And when I say abuse, I don't mean like purely physical. What she did was more on the mental side of things and emotional, which is why I have a very hard time processing my emotions. Um, yeah. Um, I remember like one of the things that she said to me was that she knew how to hit me without leaving a mark. She would tell us stuff like all we do is make her life harder. And like I understand parents raising kids isn't easy, but that's definitely like some of the things that you do not want to ever tell to your children. Like I remember talking to my mom and like trying to tell her like, hey, well I don't feel loved because you punish me for this, you punish me for that, but I get to watch my brothers go out and have fun and go do this and that with their friends, but I can have a sock on the floor and like you're mad at me. Like I had to be like 7, but like I've always been like really wise beyond my years. And so her response to that was, well, I'm the one that doesn't feel love, and y'all are ungrateful and you don't appreciate anything that I do. And it just felt like it didn't make sense for me to even try to express that to her anymore. So, what did I do? I in turn decided that I wanted to hold it in. I was like, fine, well, if she's not going to listen to me, then I'm never going to talk to her again. And I'm never going to express to her how I feel, which then led me down a really, really, really dark path. Now, this is in fact trauma dumping. So like I don't want anybody to be afraid. I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all the raw and uncut truth and the allotted time that I have. So it gets to the point where I'm in middle school and then it's like all of these emotions have never been processed. Like I've had a counselor and had maybe like 2 sessions up to this point and then stopped going because what would happen is well, I feel like personally that the people would tell my mom that she was in the wrong, and she wouldn't want to hear that. Because she is one of those people that definitely does not like hearing that they're wrong. I'll admit she's gotten better with it now, like over the years since then. But at this time, she is really like, you're not going to tell me how to raise my kids. And if you're going to tell me how to raise my kids, then my kids don't have to see you. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. Which is very true. I feel like it's definitely overstepping a boundary by telling someone how to raise their children. But, so from not seeing my value from my peers and not even seeing my value from my own mother, who would basically just tell me that I was not good enough, that I'm never going to make it in life, that I'm never going to be successful. And look at me now. I'm in college. I'm a junior. I'm not pregnant. Um, I don't have my own place yet. But, like, I'm pursuing a degree. I started my LLC this year. So I have some paperwork behind that. Like, I'm honestly very successful for a 20-year-old black female in America. So I'd say that I'm pretty much doing very well. But I say all that to say, like, because I wasn't getting the validation from my mother, from anybody, because I didn't see my value on my own, it instead led me to self harm and putting my trust into these no good, like snot nosed little boys. Which at the time, like, we're talking about the middle school period, so I am in no way fashion talking about my boyfriend now. Me and him been together for 3 years, and we're happy. Like, I'm not dissing him. I will not name who I'm talking about, but I know somewhere on this earth he knows exactly who he is, and he's dead wrong for that. Um, I talked to this boy, and like my heart got broken. It got to the point where I thought I wasn't pretty because I wasn't light skinned, because I didn't have curly hair like that 3C hair. I was just really much doubting everything that I was, because I was never seen as pretty. I remember being a little girl and crying at night, asking the Lord to make me white, because I didn't think that I was pretty because of the things that I was being told. And so, what that led me to do, that led me to not only get blinded by the things that guys will tell you just to get one thing from you, and we're not going to elaborate on the one thing, but not only was it just that, it was also I started to self harm at age 10, which no child at age 10 should even think about anything like that remotely. But I was so stressed out because I never had been taught to express, I never had a safe place to express my emotions to where something could actually be done about it. Because I feel like, as parents, y'all have a stressful job, but as children, you should also create a safe space for your children. As parents, you should also create a safe space for your children to feel okay with expressing themselves to you. Otherwise, you're failing as a parent because you're raising children that don't know how to communicate emotionally, which is a problem that I have now. And I mean, it just makes everything a lot harder when you cannot express yourself verbally, like, I am angry, I am upset, like, stuff like that. And so, whew, it's really heavy for me right now, sorry. Um, and so, yeah, I started to self harm, and I self harmed for 7 years. And so when I turned, I want to say 18, I got a tattoo on my arm of the lotus flower with the number 7, because, I'm a survivor. I didn't let it consume me, whilst I still get upset about it every now and again. That I'm not letting my past define who I am as a person. I'm not letting it overtake me. I'm no longer standing for always feeling hurt and always feeling like I'm not good enough. So, what I decided to do in turn, since I had always been artistically inclined with both drawing, painting, having a creative mind, just in general, I think it's because I watched a lot of Barney growing up. Um, but because I wanted to do something different, I wanted to provide a light in the world that other people didn't have. I decided that I wanted to start my own personal project, Healing 23, which in 2023, when I turned 17, is when I said I no longer want to be in this cycle of hurt, of pain, of trauma, and everything else. And that's what motivated me to pursue creating art as a passion. So that's how I ended up majoring in creative writing and studio art, because without God, I would not be here, y'all. I'm being 100% real. God is a big influence and a big reason as to why I still have the courage to keep going. Because when I had nothing, when I had no support, when I had no friends like by me because I wasn't allowed to go outside, when I was punished, God was always there for me. When I was up in the middle of the night crying, asking the Lord why, how could somebody be so evil towards me? I had God there, and he would tell me it it won't always be like this. Like, I understand that you're hurting, but know that you will survive. You will persevere. So, from my personal experience, I found engaging in artistic ways, in addition to seeking professional help, has helped me a lot. And so, my main motivation with my junior seminar series, Her Plante Rhythm, is to inspire others to find creative outlets in addition to professional help, to help guide their feelings whenever they cannot go to therapists. Because the reality of America and life in general is that we can't always just drop everything whenever we start feeling overwhelmed, whenever we start feeling upset, whenever we can't process depression. So the best thing for us to do is to find a hobby. Now, art for me is not a hobby. This will definitely be a way of life. I'm speaking it into existence. But yeah, so that is my why I'm an artist, why I paint, why I wanted to major in what I major in, why I want to have a business. I don't feel like anybody should ever have to feel like they're alone in this world. With over 8 billion people in this world, somebody definitely can relate to the way that you feel. And I feel like there's no use in being here knowing that you went through something and then not trying to help somebody else feel good too. Because I mean, like, why make someone else feel bad when you can make yourself and someone else feel better? Like, the more I talk about this, the better it makes me feel. And it's also showing somebody else, like, hey, I had the courage to do this, so you also could have the courage to do this. And who knows, you might be making artwork in the future. But anyway, that's all I have for y'all. I can't wait to show y'all the outcome of the Junior Sim show. Thank you so much for tagging along. And as always, stay blessed, be blessed. I hope you enjoyed the video. Mwah. And remember that God loves you. XOXO.